So what if you made one mistake and that mistake had the power to change the way you see yourself and the way you live your life? Where I'm going with this is a story of a relatively young man, younger than me. It's the story of Anthony Vella. He is a fairly well-known paramotor pilot who recently, about a year ago, suffered a catastrophic accident in which he fell out of the air around 100 feet and crashed into the earth, breaking so many bones in his body and nearly killing himself. He did spend the next many months in intensive care units and went through multiple surgeries and ultimately bounced back. This is an incredible feat because, I mean, this would have killed most people. But he fought through it, and with the excellent medical care, he was discharged, and he's been home with his family for some time. But his worries are not over. There's been some lasting damage to his body, and particularly his right arm. Some of the vascularization has been compromised in his arm, and a lot of the bone structure is non-existent. And he's been taking steps to regrow this bone so that he can restore functionality to this arm. But a recent update, which he just posted just, I don't know, maybe a couple of days ago, if that, that's what prompted me to make this video. This is my response to his update video. I am Mursegeorge. I make videos about life. And what I'm talking about with regard to Anthony Vella is life. Life happened to Anthony. And that's what my channel is about, life. And what is that? Well, to put it bluntly, shit happens. You know, we make mistakes. We get hurt. We learn lessons. Bad things happen. Good things happen. We make discoveries. We realize things. We learn things. We're taught lessons. All of that. That is life. That's what my niche is. That's what my channel is about. I am Mursegeorge. I am a paramotor pilot like Anthony, but moreover, in addition to that, I'm a nurse. I've been a registered nurse for 10 years. Anthony and I, we don't know each other. I've never met him. He's never met me. But we have some things in common. He's a family man. I'm a family man. We went to the same school. He went to the school that I participate in, Lone Star Paramotors in San Antonio, Texas, and I go there all the time to fly. I am a new pilot. I've got about 50 flights, maybe about 25 hours, so I'm still a rookie. Anthony's more experienced than me, and he was further along in his paramotoring journey when his accident occurred. Now, of course, that accident put the brakes on his paramotoring for now. He's still making some videos, and he recently took a trip to Europe that's pretty amazing. He made an amazing video of a paramotor factory there. But anyway, I digress. This video is my reaction to Anthony's ongoing struggle to rehabilitate and keep his arm, because that's what he's looking at now. And moreover, this video is about all of us, you know. We need to start recognizing how valuable this is. You only get one body. You better take care of it. I'm sorry, I don't mean to lecture you. That's the nurse in me. It's our job to educate to some extent. And another thing, I am not going to be practicing medicine in this video. I'm going to be talking about Anthony's injuries a little bit, but not so much that I want to be telling Anthony what to do, because I do not want to be telling Anthony what to do. I might tell him what I have experienced, what I have seen, Some of the people that go through similar accidents. I don't work in a trauma center, but I deal with all kinds of people with amputations left and right, mostly because of complications from chronic disease, where his was as a result of trauma. But nevertheless, an amputation is an amputation. And the loss of any part of your body is going to hit you hard, regardless of why you lost it, whether it's because of peripheral vascular disease or diabetes, which is a big one where I work. People are stricken with chronic disease, blood pressure, kidney failure, vascular disease, diabetes. Diabetes takes its toll on your vascular system. And what that is, without getting too deep into pathophysiology, is your blood is constantly circulating throughout the body. And blood carries oxygen. And where blood does not go, oxygen does not go. And where oxygen does not go, tissue dies. So he already suffered a lot of tissue loss because of his trauma. And the vascularization was messed up and compromised because of all the trauma as well. So that is his struggle now. He can't grow new bone because he doesn't have good vascularization, which provides oxygen. And he is doing everything right. In his last update video, this most recent one, he talks about everything that he's gone through. And this last checkup and this last surgery and the last imaging that they did. And I have every confidence that Anthony is doing everything possible. And his doctors too. He talked about some of the medications that they're doing. They gave him certain medications to enhance and promote bone growth. He actually had an ill effect and had to have emergency surgery from one of these medications. Anthony is doing everything he can at home. He is taking care of himself. He is educating himself. He is learning about the body. He's learning about nutrition. He is learning about sleep and rest and how the body restores and regenerates and repairs itself. I can tell from just his last video that he is up to speed. And this just didn't happen. He's been through the ringer for the last year. So he has been educating himself the entire time. I know. And I can tell. And I tip my hat to you, Anthony, because I know what you've been through. I started out my career in the intensive care unit of a major hospital. So I know what it's like in that environment. I know the kind of complications that arise in that environment. I know the type of diagnoses that are given out and bestowed upon people. I've seen people's face when they're told that they have a chronic disease for which, either it's going to limit their lifespan or it's going to require them to, be attached to a machine for 4 hours a time, 3 days a week, I particularly work in dialysis. That's what I do. I administer dialysis treatments to acute care renal patients. These are patients with kidney failure that have a lot of stuff going on and they're in the hospital either as a result of that or countless other complications. And often it is just a whole assortment of things. It's rarely just one thing going on with people. They have an assortment of things that they're dealing with. And all of them kind of come together to make a really difficult situation, both for healing, but also for the mind and dealing with this. And this is where my video comes in today, the purpose that I am creating this video for, the purpose of my channel. And that is to help people deal with life, life. Our bodies, once they fail us, our lives change drastically. I've seen people that were once strong and very active and thriving because of disease or some kind of a amputation, perhaps, some kind of a limitation with regard to the body changes their entire life. And oftentimes they're left wondering, what is the point? What am I going to do? Who am I now? What am I capable of? What do I have to look forward to? What do I have to contribute to my loved ones, you know? Those are some serious questions. You're talking about your self-worth, your value. What good are you? Oh my goodness. These are things that you had better come to terms with right away, right quickly, or things are going to get ugly. And again, don't misunderstand and think that I am telling anybody what to do. I'm just suggesting that this is some serious stuff and you need to take it seriously and get all the help that you can and get all the education that you can and embrace support any way that it comes. You know, Anthony, you talked about in your last video that you were really asking for our thoughts on these decisions and stuff. And really, with regard to saving your arm, here I am. I don't even know that Anthony's going to watch this video. There's a good chance that he never sees it. But if you do, here are my thoughts. You propose that, you know, you really just go on doing what you're doing. And if the bone still refuses to grow, then you're left with that limp noodle of an arm. And these are Anthony's words. Don't take offense that, you know, I'm being short or taking his injuries lightly. These are his words, a limp noodle of an arm. He says, nobody wants that. There's not much quality of life. And what he's been dealing with for this past year is babying this arm, nurturing this arm. My words, and this is when I was, you know, kind of thinking about how I wanted to talk about this, I would almost refer to that as a glass arm, because that's what it's like. You know, he's got a very thin, fragile glass arm that any little thing and boom, it is broke and all his efforts have been in vain and he's got to start all over again. And the chances of success are even more poorly because, you know, he just re-injured his arm because it's made of glass. I mean, this is just figuratively. Obviously, it's not made of glass, but he's got a lot of metal hardware in there. And a lot of it in this last surgery was identified as having failed. Metal hardware, I think it was made out of titanium, and it had failed. And the bone was reabsorbed. His body was, rather than this bone generating and growing and becoming larger and, you know, being what the skeleton is a form of structure for our muscles and our tendons and whatnot, you know, something that is capable of doing work and holding weight. That's not where he's at with this arm. And that's where he wants to get. That's where he wants to be. But things aren't looking good. So he talked about quality of life or lack thereof quality of life while he's nurturing this glass arm. It hasn't been there, you know. He is, I don't know, mid to late 30s. He's not even 40 yet. So he has got a lot of life ahead of him. And he's got a young, beautiful wife and child, maybe children. I'm not sure how many children, but I know that he has some children that he wants to get down on the ground and wrestle with and play with and run around and just cut up and act his age. You know, he's a young man. He's a young, vibrant father, and he wants to enjoy life. I mean, of all the things that we could be doing, that is what enjoying life is all about. Kicking it like that with your family, with your loved ones, having fun, chasing them, making memories, golden memories. He wants to do that. So he needs a good quality of life to do that. Some of the things that he talked about were, like I just said, allowing the arm to grow. It's not happening, so let's be realistic. There is such thing as a artificial elbow. Many of you have heard of people having their knee replaced. Well, they can do that with the elbow, but essentially it's not going to be as functional as the artificial knee is for whatever reason. And we don't see that a lot in the hospitals. I see a lot of people with the knee replacement, and they almost always get them out of bed and start getting them to ambulate quite quickly, oftentimes the very first day after surgery. For some reason, it's not there. The technology, the advancements, the capabilities with regard to medical replacement of the elbow, it's not there. And this is where his problem lies. These bones were just crushed, destroyed, and they are not growing back. So he could allow it to be fused. And he would have, I don't know, maybe a little bit better quality of life, although his arm would always be fused. He still has some functionality of this hand, but not completely. There's a lot of nerve damage. So he's got an arm, he's got a hand, but they're not what they should be, and they probably never will be. So another alternative, and this is one, and here's his words. He says he would ask if some of you, because, this may seem extreme to some of you, this third possibility, and I'll just cut right to it. It is amputation. He is entertaining the thought of having his arm amputated. Now, and he says, a lot of you may think that, this is extreme and your arm is still there. It is still alive to the most extent. For the most part, it's still alive. You shouldn't even be considering removing your arm. But that's where you would be wrong. Unless you are someone like Anthony and that has been through something like that and experienced it and know everything that he's going through, unless you could put yourself in his shoes and have walked a mile in his shoes, or somebody like myself who has spent the last decade in a hospital seeing people deal with these circumstances. So if either of those situations were true, you wouldn't think that this idea is so far-fetched, because it's not. It is not very far-fetched. With these circumstances, for him to entertain just having the arm removed, it is legit. Now, am I saying that he should do that? I've already told you in the beginning of this video, I am not telling Anthony what he should and should not do. And furthermore, I'm a nurse. I'm not a doctor. I don't practice medicine. That's one of the first things they teach you in nursing school is nurses do not practice medicine. It's unethical and it's against the law. So that's not what I'm doing. We practice nursing. And believe it or not, what we're doing here, this is nursing. Nurses talk things through with their patients. And I don't know, maybe that's why the Murse channel is about what it is. That's why my niche is what it is, because I'm a nurse. I never really thought of it, I thought it was just something that was instinctive for me, because it feels instinctive for me to talk about these things, life and loss and tragedy and wins too, and what we should celebrate and why things are worth celebrating. This is the Murse channel. This is what George is about. So, Anthony, don't let anybody tell you what you should be entertaining and not, ideas that you should be considering or not. Nobody has that right. It is for you and your wife to come together on, That's the only two people that matter. And I would think if she loves you enough, which I'm sure that she does, she saw you through everything you've been through since this accident, that she would want whatever you want. So don't let anybody influence you. You have earned that right to do what is right for you in your heart. And you don't have to justify it or explain it to anybody. You can if you want to, but you don't have to. I wish you the best. I want to see you succeed. I don't care what you decide. I want to see you succeed. Do I think that you can have an amazing life without that arm? I do. And I think it'll happen pretty quickly too, because you'll stop having to baby that arm. And before you know it, you'll be able to just strengthen everything else. And I know you have other injuries. You broke your back, you broke your neck, you broke your pelvis. And those injuries, to some extent, are always going to be a part of your life. But you've done so much. And hey, anybody that, this is not just for Anthony, but anybody that has gone through this, because I know the world is going to see this. So anybody that's gone through such extreme physical setbacks like this, I mean, this stands true for you as well, you know. This advice is pretty universal, because I'm not telling anybody what to do. I'm just telling you that we have to get real sometimes when, you know, doctors tell us that we are facing these kind of limitations. All the time, almost daily, do I see a kidney doctor telling a patient that, guess what? Your kidneys don't work anymore. And you need kidneys to live, you know. Kidneys clean and filter the blood. They remove waste products. They remove excess fluid. They help control your blood pressure, and they do so very much that we need them. And without them, we've got to have something to do the job. So that's, for many people, it's renal dialysis. That's my specialty. So this is what I'm talking about. When a doctor tells a patient that your kidneys aren't working anymore, so you're going to need hemodialysis. That means being hooked up to a machine for 4 hours at a time, 3 days a week, forever. Or, you know, unless you get a kidney transplant, which not everybody qualifies for. And even many of those that do get lucky enough to get a transplanted kidney, some of them don't take. And for one reason or another, they're rejected by their body, or other ailments. You know, I told you that a lot of these people have different comorbidities. So one thing leads to another, and the new kidney suffers damage as well. So just because you get a transplant does not mean it's a slam dunk and you're good to go, unfortunately. So my point is that a lot of times we have to accept things for what they are and count our blessings, even when they seem like not much of a blessing. There's always a silver lining, you know. If we're still breathing, if we're still awake each morning, if we can still look at our children and share with them their life, if we can share some love, a conversation, help. Just talking to my kids and helping them get through life and how to become an adult. I mean, it's such a privilege and such a reason for me to still be here. Anthony, you got a lot of people that need you, so keep the fight up. And you're a strong man. You've been through a lot. I hope I never have to go through. I'm a paramotor pilot too, but I hope I never have to go through that, because I don't wish that on anybody. You're a strong man, and you deserve all good things. Hey, Mursegeorge out. We'll see you.